My name is Nickole. I own SHAG Studios in downtown Dayton. Well, my first entrepreneurship was actually in the Oregon District. I used to rent a chair in DERAILED. That was my first time being independently employed. Prior to that, I had had a ton of jobs, some better than others. And DERAILED, I did hair there for about a year before I moved to Seattle. I had lived in Dayton my whole life, and I just wanted to see what else was going on. I got a job at a barbershop right away and did that for a couple of years, and then I started bang in 2012. Honestly, I'm just like that cliche person who sort of moved home during the pandemic. I had come home to visit during COVID. Seattle was very tumultuous at that time. Everything was boarded up, and I came home and visited family and realized that I wanted to move back. When I moved back with a friend from Seattle who actually moved here as well, who used to work at Bang, we opened SHAG on Jefferson downtown, and we were both doing hair there. And then I sort of thought there was an unmet need for, more of like a studios situation where there were lots of different types of personal care services, people working together in the same building. We have 15 studios that are private studios. So our goal is to take each of those spaces and create a space that reflects the person who rents it. So they can choose kind of colors or patterns or light fixtures or things that they feel like are going to enhance their business. I think it's important to give people spaces to reflect not only who they are in business, but who they are in the world. So I really look forward to collaborating with people who want to spend most of their time, which is your work time, in a space that feels good for them, like energetically and socially. This will be a community of sort of like-minded people who want to share this space. I definitely felt like this building was awesome for so many reasons, but being a previous medical doctor facility, it had already been broken up in ways, and the way that it was initially sort of laid out allowed me to come in and remove walls and put up walls, but also respect the dignity of the building. I think it had sat for about a century with no work at all. Dayton has a lot of these really great spaces that have been neglected for just a tiny bit too long. So I hope that, and I think that people are starting to inhabit those spaces and turn them over. I used the first floor fund through the city of Dayton, which was amazing, and I definitely recommend anyone entrepreneurial who's interested in being downtown or close to downtown take advantage of that. In places like Seattle, you can't buy a building. It's $10, $12, $50 million to buy a building. So you can do things here on a bigger scale because the space is available, which has been amazing. I could have never done this in Seattle. Studios, too, are a great way to get started. If you want to be a salon owner, you should do that. But starting in a salon suite is an easier, faster, cheaper way to get started to see if you really do want to be entrepreneurial. I actually enjoy being around people who share an entrepreneurial spirit, who understand what it takes to get the job done. They understand that the hours aren't set hours. They understand that you do things every day that are not part of your job description because it's just what has to be done. I think entrepreneurs have a mindset and a skill set and a flexibility that a lot of 9-to-5 people don't encompass or don't appreciate or value. And I really enjoy being around makers, people who just make things happen. Being an entrepreneur is some of the best and the hardest work that you'll ever do. I love this industry, and the people that work in it are great. They're interesting, they're eclectic. A lot of them are artists. You know, it's an industry that has a lot of movement. It's very interesting, and I'm a high energy person, so I'm really drawn to that. On the flip side of it, it's also like the hardest work you'll do, like navigating personal relationships and being a boss and telling people no. And, you know, you have to really be willing sometimes to not be the most favorite person in the room. For better or for worse, I have, you know, solidly 17 years of, you know, being independently employed. So I would like to be a resource. When you are an entrepreneur, you need to get acquainted with being uncomfortable quite a bit, being told no a lot. You know, I definitely have not gotten every space I've wanted or every loan I needed. Being told no becomes part of the language. And if that's really uncomfortable for you, or you're really sensitive about it, you might want to reevaluate. Because you just have to shift gears and keep working towards what your goal is. Sometimes being told no was a gift, because it would have been a mistake and I couldn't see it at the time, you know? If you have a strong vision and you have a strong voice and you're trying to say a thing, or you're trying to project a way of living for specific people, I think it's important to sort of surround yourself with the people who share those ideas and the investment in all the humans coming together for a common purpose, even if it is just haircuts. I really love doing hair. I love the intimacy of a one-on-one situation with someone. I like being skilled enough to give them a product that, you know, they love or couldn't achieve on their own. And I like doing a good job. There's something that's easier about giving someone a really great haircut in an hour and a half as opposed to this building, which has taken a year. There's some instant gratification in doing hair that is very fulfilling. So yeah, I honestly would like to go back to doing hair at least 2 days a week. And now I have 11,000 square feet to do it in. I am KC, and I am an entrepreneur.